Hello everyone, welcome to my brand new channel here on YouTube. This is the new home for my business, Shining Starr Holistics. So what will you find on my channel? Every month I will be sharing with you my collective reading for the upcoming month. So today is the 1st of February. So I'm going to be sharing with you this 5-card reading. The cards that I have chosen to use are tarot, the black and white Faulkner tarot. It's the deck I teach with and the deck that I work with on a daily basis with my clients. So I'm just going to show you some of the images for those of you who may be unfamiliar with the Faulkner tarot. Oh, I'm dropping them. As you can see, they are very modern day and showing real people, real life situations that we can actually all relate to. Okay, so that is the Faulkner tarot. And I'm also, you will see a card in the middle. Every month I will be guided to use a different oracle card just to give us a little bit of an extra message. So for this month, the month of February, I was guided to use the Oracle of the Seven Energies by Colette Baron Reid. So let's get started. So as I've said, it's a 5-card collective reading. So I'm doing it for each and every one of you. And, you know, let's hope it resonates with us all as the month goes forward. So let's take a look. So card number 1, which is here up the top, is the 4 of Pentacles. So this is representing to all of us what worked well in the previous month. So in this case, we are talking about January. What worked well? So what I get from this card, it's very much about thinking about where we're investing our time, where we are investing our energy. It can also talk about, you know, building those really solid foundations. So January was the very first month of 2021. So this would have been a brilliant time for each and every one of you to really start to think about those foundations in your own lives, whether it's on a personal level or maybe even a career level. You know, where do you want to be heading as we embrace 2021, which some of you may know, it is a universal year 5 when we take it back to the numerology. So really the year 5 is about unexpected change. It can be about those curveballs that get thrown in our path. It can be, you know, relevant to going on new adventures. You know, it's the middle number when we look at numerology and its 9-year cycle. So 2020 was a year 4. So throughout 2020, many of us would have been really thinking and reflecting on our own foundations, particularly with all of the current challenges that we are still having to face. However, the year 5 hopefully is going to bring some changes in around us. You know, we do have Aquarius with Jupiter and Saturn have just moved into that. So that is going to bring a very different energy from when Jupiter and Saturn were in Capricorn. That was hard work. Whereas Aquarius is about that new age, new technology, new way of doing things. And particularly, you know, this month, we are going to see a lot of Aquarius energy coming in around us. And I guess I should say, as I'm doing this, on January the 30th, Mercury, the planet of travel, technology and communication, went retrograde in Aquarius. Now, we had the pre-shadow for 2 weeks before, and that was when we were getting prepared. And I know personally, yes, it did start to play havoc with a few technical things, with communication, with emails. So certainly for now, until about the middle to end of February, with Mercury in Aquarius, it's not the greatest time to start something new. It's very much about reflecting, revisiting, reviewing. If you can think of any word that you could put the letters RE in front of, then you are most certainly going to be using Mercury retrograde to your advantage. And as I always say, if you follow me on Facebook on my Julia Starr profile or the business page Shining Starr Holistics, or you may even be in my online circle, you know, it is so much easier to flow with the energies rather than putting up a brick wall of resistance. So back to this Four of Pentacles. We started to build the solid foundations. We realized that actually money isn't everything. And I think, you know, the whole of 2020 taught us that. But we're taking it forwards now into 2021 because nobody assumed that we would still be in another lockdown at this particular time. Now, yes, it can talk about putting the money away. If you look after the pennies, the pounds will look after themselves. Now, as I'm looking at the little piggy today, he has two faces for me. He has a sad face and he has a happy face. And I can almost see his little tail wiggling. And it is doing exactly that today. So for the month of February, we know that in January, we definitely put down the foundations that we want to build on for the rest, the next 11 months of 2021. And, you know, it's also, I think we learned that abundance means so many things. It doesn't just mean the pennies and the pounds. Abundance is infinite and is always available to us. Now, it could also be talking about that January was the month when you had something that you wanted to share, but perhaps you were not ready to share it yet. Okay, maybe that time will come during the month of February, but just know that January was a brilliant time for so many of us building these firm foundations. So let's move on and see what didn't work for the month of January, and perhaps what did we learn? Okay, so here we have the Death card, number 13. So as you can see in the card, we've got the dark room going into a corridor and then a brand new lighter door on the other side. So really what didn't work is quite straightforward. Maybe we didn't get the transformation, the changes that we had actually all hoped for. Okay, a great little quote with the Death card is typically, as one door opens, another door closes. However, it is under the category of what did not work for us. So maybe, you know, things didn't move as fast or as quickly as you had actually hoped. Now, the thing to remember, transformation, change, anything that you want to change within your life is going to take time. And yes, sometimes it is about the divine timing. However, if you look at the numbers 1 and 3 and you add them together and go with the words of numerology, it becomes the 4. Okay, so again, take it back to our Four of Pentacles up here. It was all about laying down the foundations. So what did we learn from all of this? Let's have a look. Okay, look, it's another 4. the Four of Cups. So for me, this is about really, we can feel bored, we can feel frustrated. Sometimes we can shut ourselves away, particularly when our emotions are concerned. We almost go internal. However, what did we learn? Sometimes you need to look, or you need to see beyond what can be seen with the naked eye, and actually address situations as and when they arrive. Otherwise, moving forwards, they do become the elephant in the room. And then it's that awkward moment when you need to address something. But actually, sometimes people may think it's easier just to keep it bottled in. So, maybe if this is talking about a change, a transformation of sorts, maybe January wasn't the right time. Okay, so maybe later, maybe this is about waiting for a sign to proceed. And what I'm really drawn to on this card today, if you look at the shadow of the man's legs, I can see the number 11. So we all know that 11 is a very magical number. Whenever we see 1111, we go make a wish, don't we? So maybe we're just waiting for that sign. We know it's coming. We are just sitting there, just waiting. So, what is our theme for the month ahead? Let's take a look. Wow. Okay. This is really starting to make sense now here with the Ace of Wands. So the Ace of Wands is a fabulous card. It is very much that fire sign energy, because in the tarot, the wands represents the fire signs of Aries, Leo and Sagittarius. So the Ace of Wands is great. All aces represent new beginnings. So our theme for the month of February is very much that sense of renewed energy. It is those ideas, it is those inspirations, it's the motivation you might get with something, the passion. You are now ready to follow your heart with something. Remember, we've been doing the groundwork, we've been putting down the foundations, waiting for that moment of change, that moment of transformation. So we are now very much open to an opportunity that absolutely aligns with our higher purpose. But remember, with all of the aces, they kind of represent that seed. It still has to grow. However, the potential is very much there. So if you've got something that actually you want to push forwards with, maybe it's a new project within the home, maybe it's a new way of thinking, maybe it's something to do with your work, maybe you want to start, doing more baking, or you're starting to think about your garden. The daffodils are coming up. So if you're a keen gardener, you might be wanting to get out there and plan where you're going to put all that wonderful colour within the garden, certainly around springtime. So it really is a wonderful card where we've all got the energy to pursue whatever it is that our heart desires. Okay, so work with the Ace of Wands. It's a beautiful energy. So anything else we should be aware of? This is card number 5. Wow. Okay, the Ace of Swords. So like I've said, aces are very much new beginnings. Now, the Ace of Swords is kind of like that unexpected, that unplanned new beginning. And absolutely, yes, it can be scary. It can be literally jumping out of an aeroplane, like you can see our lady here. Although if you look closely, she's actually smiling. The thumbs are up. Life is good. She's learning to trust. And that is what we need to be doing this month. You know, we can't always see how something is going to work out. However, spirit, the conscious universe, the divine, God, whichever word fits with you, is always supporting us and will actually only send us what we can cope with. All right, we've agreed to everything in this lifetime. So don't be afraid. If there is an unexpected new beginning, be curious. The Swords energy is very much about that mental thought processes, everything that goes on within our heads. Okay, so just trust. You know, as I'm looking at the card, I can now see the heart down below Our Lady. So it is very much about following your passions, following your hearts, because spirit always has got your back. Okay, so the final card, now this is the Oracle card, which really gives us that extra message. So I've chosen the Oracle of the 7 energies. What have we got? Okay, we have got card number 6. It is what it is. So this card is representing the first energy center. So for those of you not familiar with the deck, the first energy center represents the root chakra when we take it back to the chakras. So the key concepts for this beautiful card, and remember, this is going along with everything else that we've spoken about. It is about radical acceptance. It is about engaging life on life's terms, okay? So go with what comes up. It is about observing circumstances and really taking them at face value, recognizing and releasing resistance and denial. So that really goes back to the 4 of Cups, doesn't it? You know, sometimes we only see what we want to see. However, we do need to take things at face value and act accordingly. So, where is all this going to lead you? Well, if we can radically accept life on life's terms, when we can stop fighting against it and fight for what we truly desire, okay, Ace of Wands moment, go with the passion, you know, when all of that becomes available to you and when you are no longer in denial about what is in front of you, you are going to feel absolutely empowered to make those necessary changes with respect to yourself, your attitudes, and your choices. Now, remember, we've already had the Death card. You know, we wanted the transformations last month, but they didn't come. Now, the irony that comes out of this particular card, it is what it is that real transformation can happen once you surrender to the idea that things are exactly as they are meant to be. And if we step back with clarity and acceptance, you then realize that life is offering you something magical. And, you know, this is even if circumstances send you on a bit of a temporary detour. You know, you will discover treasure beyond your imagination and a brand new way to embrace this world. Now, in the guidebook, there is a fabulous prayer that I actually say so many times, and it is the Serenity Prayer, and I wanted to share it with you guys on this very first monthly reading. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. So they are beautiful words. So you may want to write them out. You might want to print off an image off the internet. But it's a beautiful prayer that honestly has got me through so many days when I didn't think I was going to be able to see the light with one situation or another. So there it is, your February reading. I would love you to like this video, like and subscribe. Please share it with your friends, and I will be back with another video next month. So lots of love, guys, and thank you for joining me.